Sean here with Everything's Broken Garage. We got a pretty large project here now. We got a 1970 Camino. We're doing a complete restoration on. The owner went as far as stripping it down to the chassis, getting it all zinc coated. And you got Hotchkiss SV2 suspension, front, rear, all polyurethane bushings, lowering springs, gorgeous setup. Got Willwood brakes, disc for the front and rear, master cylinder, the works all going to be Willwood. Got a LS2 over in the corner and a T56 gearbox, and that'll be a future project. For now, today, first thing I'm going to do is get a suspension together enough to be able to lay it on the ground and get a rolling chassis. So I'll bring you in a little closer now so you can have a look at the... So far I put together the left front just to make sure all the bolts were there, and this really nice setup, Fox adjustable shocks, all tubular control arms, all the bushings are greasable, really nice setup. So what I'm going to do now is I'll get the camera all set up and I'll put together the right front now. After that's done, I'll go ahead and get the steering controls laid in place, steering box and the center link and idle arm, all that, so that the front is able to be fixed. Then I'll probably move on to the back, get the bushings put in the new rebuilt differential, get all the trailing arms in place. I got to put the side axles in, and then I'll be able to lay the back down too. So room over on this side is a little bit more confined. The body of the car is just right here, but I can make do, and I'll just have to deal with it until I get this down and movable. So first thing I got to do is get this lower control arm. I'm just gonna put it into place and leave the bolts loose for now, because you never want to torque down your suspension while it's fully extended. It's a good way to put extra stress on bushings that you don't really want to do. So I'm gonna work that up in there. There goes my phone. That's what you want. This one's being a bit more contrary. I feel that the frame rails are shifted just a shades. Adjust that just a little bit. Just like that. Now I'm using a rubber mallet here because I don't want to chip all the powder coating off the brand new control arm. That'd be a shame, because these are gorgeous. The other side basically fell right into place, so I was expecting this side to go very similar, but can always make do. And that in there, perfect. So now I'll just put these nuts and washers on here finger tight so that they stay where they need to be. So things weren't falling all over the place. Took these spacers out of the control arms. It's all nice milled aluminum. Fall right into place. That nice polyurethane spring perch. Same thing, just drop him right in there. So I'll get the upper control arm put in place now. These A bodies, I think I'm right in calling this an A-body. The upper control arm has these specific bolts that have a spline on them that hold them into the frame rail too. So got to reuse these. They're going to be pretty hard to get my hands on. That's not a huge deal. Just lay them through there like that for now. Get that other controller on. As you can see, really nice tubular control arms. Got the Hotchkiss written right on it. See the bushings, they're all greasable with Zerk fittings and caps and everything to cover it, so I won't bother greasing anything until it's actually all together, because I'm sure there's lots that's got to be done. So I'll just go ahead and put this in place now, and should just fall right on pretty easily. And putting the other side together, I was having some conflict. The control arm was hitting the frame rail, and I couldn't figure out what was going on, but it turns out that this center bar right here can be turned 180, and it changed how far it sat on the chassis and threw me for a loop for a few minutes. Wasn't too long, had that figured out. Now I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other side, and I left the upper jounce bumper off so that the control arm could come down far enough for me to be able to hook it into the knuckle. That'll be easy enough to put in place when there's the weight of a body and an engine, transmission, and everything holding suspension down. You'll see when I do this side, I had to put the jack under the lower control arm and sit on the frame rail just to be able to grab it. It definitely wasn't the safest practice, but it worked. So I'm going to do the same thing here now. So we got this really nice Hotchkiss Fox shock. This a really complete kit. It comes with all the hardware needed, which makes things a whole lot easier. One thing that Hotchkiss didn't do was provide very fluent instructions, or instructions at all for that matter. It's more of a figure it out as you go type of deal, which I'm okay with, but there's a lot of fellas that just aren't. So hopefully now, if you're planning on going at the same thing, you can watch this and maybe get a little bit of guidance out of it. So, really nice springs. Everything's branded Hotchkiss, of course. You got to be sure to put the open coil on the bottom, because it's got the nice cutout here in the dampener. So, this here also sits on a ridge up inside the frame rails. Pretty hard to miss, so I'm fully confident you guys are able to figure that out. Almost. There we go. That should work. So I'll get this shock ready to go in place, because this was going to hold this all together for me. Take the top half of the upper bushing off. I'll lay that over here, easy to access. So these got washers and spacers. So you want to put the washer on the bottom, like that. That'll go up through the shock. And you got your spacer here. And that threads into the lower control arm. So it's a bit of a torment to get set up. But once you're there, it's not too bad. Sneak that up through there like that. You can pretty easily see from up top where you gotta thread in those lower bolts. Doing this all by feel basically, but that's alright. Okay, I got two of those started. I'm gonna use the ratchet now and chase those in as close as I can anyway, because when that's holding onto the spring, you're not gonna want to be trying to torque anything down. So yeah. So I had the same problem last time too. The bottom of the shock body is just a little wide for the sockets that I'm using. So I'm gonna use a screwdriver here and just sneak it over a bit. Probably gonna end up loosening up that other side just so I can get it close. I'll just go get an opening wrench and chase it in the rest of the way. Alright, that's those. So wondering now, am I going to be able to pick this up enough and get that spring all set into place and the shock started up. Nope, I'm going to have to use the jack. I'm going to use a block of wood on the jack so I don't damage the coating on those control arms, because that'd be a shame to see that happen. So I'll sit up here on the frame rail. The whole frame is pretty securely placed on jack stand, so not too concerned with this. But don't you dare give that spring a little adjustment like that. Alright, great. Oh, if I can hold that shock with the tip of my finger. There. shock is sneaking up through the body there. See if I can't get all this on started so I can start wrenching it down. Once the shock is pinched like this, you can just pull that lower spring together by hand with a socket and ratchet. So I'll use the ratchet first until the shock body starts to spin. And I'm gonna grab the right ratchet. Alright, well, that's caught now anyway, so I can let that go just like that. I'll leave that there to catch it in case something do happen. So it's a 9/16 wrench for this shock bolt. So I use that as far as I can until that strut tower starts to spin like it is now. So now I can put that in there like that. This is a 3/16 Allen socket. You must hold the body and tighten the knot because you don't really want to be spinning that strut shaft around too much inside the knuckle, because that could be pretty bad on the body of the shock. Twist up valves or beat up a couple seals. Do it this way. A little awkward by times, but it's alright. Just like that. Nice. So that's secured like that. I can pull this jack right out of the way. So I got the lower control arm and shock and spring all in place. Get these castle nuts laid aside because you know what's coming next. Gotta put the knuckle on her. This is the OEM knuckle. The owner went ahead and cleaned them all up and got them painted so that it matches the rest of the suspension here, nice and tidy. The Ackerman arms haven't been painted, but there's no rust and they're just silver, so that'll be fine too. Pull all this tape off. Hold on 1 minute, I don't know why I don't have a pair of gloves on. Alright, so I'm back. I notice there's still a bit of paint bleeding out of the inside of the tape here, so that shows how recently this has been painted, but all the important stuff is dry, so just go ahead and all this off. If I can get the tape out my fingers. Oh, I don't know. Bit of tissue paper stuck in that hole there, so I'll hook that out as best I can. You know what, I'll just get a piece of tissue out later when it's sitting up on the car easy. All I need is a pick to hook it out, so grab that in a minute. So, nice and easy, just drop that down there like that. I'm going to spin that finger tight for now, so I can have room to pull all this together just like that. So, I don't have any of the cotter pins or anything put in this yet. I'll worry about that when it actually starts to move, because I'm sure it's going to have to come apart again, and I feel like that'd be a massive waste of cotter pins. Put them in and bending them off and taking them out and throwing them away. So, nice big one down here. There's a 7/8. Nice and tight. There, this corner's here. How this, after this, even so much as fully adjustable sway bar links here. It's really nice professional kit getting installed here. So yeah, so that's all suspension on this side together. So this is a freshly rebuilt differential, 373 gears. Looks to be a pretty tidy job. So